Hey y'all, hey, we are back for another review of Sisters on BET. Please forgive my lighting and my background. I'm out of town, but I still wanted to get this video over with and done. So we're on season 2, episode 21 of Sisters, so let's just jump right into it. Aaron walks in on Zach and Karen knocking boots in the back room of the salon. Zach closes the door and they're trying to get themselves together, and now Karen is just kind of begging Zach to let her go. Like, we shouldn't have did that. Like, how did this happen? How did I get, back? How did that happen? How did we get to this point? And now, she's blaming Zach for the situation, and they're all just kind of awkward because Aaron is still sitting out there because he left his phone in the room. So y'all gotta come out at some point, right? Right. So he apologizes, but he knows that she likes Aaron a lot, and it shouldn't happen. It won't happen again. Now Karen is mad because she fell back into Zach's pants, and she wants to know, what's the spell that he has on her. So now they're trying to come up out of the room because Aaron's still sitting there talking to Pam. Zach leaves, and he on the way out he asks Aaron, like, "You still here?" And Karen's like, "Zach, just go. Just mind your business. Just go." And so she explains the whole scenario to Aaron, and how they ended up knocking boots in the back room. And Aaron tells her, I see that you still love Zach, and that she says she's not in love with Zach, but everybody sees what you, Karen. You still in love with Zach. All right, so Aaron has that same sentiment. Says that she needed sex that bad, and since he's abstaining, he's not going to be able to help her with that. So he's just going to give her some time to just be by herself. And so he's upset because he wanted more for her than Zach, because we know that situation was super duper toxic. Slow down. Super duper toxic. And that they shouldn't see each other, and that he wanted more for her, and I think he was operating under the assumption that he was the more for her. So she claims that she wants it all to include but not limited to sex, and that it doesn't make her a bad person. Aaron says, not bad. No, definitely not bad, just human, and I definitely understand. And so now he's gonna give her some space because she needs to figure out, where her heart is at in all of this, in this whole situation. Danny and Sabrina, they're in the car driving, and Sabrina tells Danny that she's gonna go out with Jacoby. We already knew that was gonna happen. Sabrina's called from the credit card department because they were investigating the charges that Karen assumed was Zach. The charges on Karen's credit card is a woman. A woman signed Zach's name on the credit card charges. So, in fact, and indeed, it was not Zach, as we all assumed. Well, as I assumed from jump. And that they're going to go ahead and reverse the charges. So, girl, all you had to do was call your bank. Is that what I came to? The conclusion? Like, you just needed to call your bank, tell them that it wasn't you, send them the evidence that showed that it was not you, and they would reverse the charges. So, we did all this for a little fraud alert. For a little reversal. That's what insurance is for, girl. They'll give you your money back. Anyway, so Zach ultimately did not do it. They watched the video, and it's definitely not Zach. The lady sent the video to Sabrina, so her and Danny are watching it, and they confirm 100% it's not Zach. And Sabrina goes on to say that it looks like it's one of her clients, and Danny has seen her before. So Danny is, she's outside excited to get it to let Aaron know, let Karen know, like, that wasn't Zach. So she wants to rub it in her face. So let's hurry up and get to Andy so we can confront both Andy and Karen on their BS and go on about our date. All right, so Maurice gets home and he's speaking to Calvin, but Calvin is ignoring him because he's the middleman in everything that's going on in this whole situation between him and Karen. So he's upset. And he wasn't mad that Calvin was possibly in the room with another man, but he was just upset that he wasn't invited. This is Maurice's standpoint, which is, I guess, why he just put 20 on 10, child. Kevin tells Maurice that Sabrina knows exactly what she wants, and it's Jacoby. She wants a muscle man. She wants a super duper macho man, and that's not. I can't do anything about. Ouch! I can't do anything about that. So he tells Maurice, he knows they were together outside of he knows that Jacoby and Jacoby and Sabrina were together outside of work, and he doesn't. Maurice is low-key snitched because when he said that, Maurice is like, well, how you know that? And he's like, no, I didn't know. You just confirmed it. So, you know, threw a little reverse psychology on him right quick. So now he, you know, got to talk about the situation, I guess. And Marcus just lets him know, like, okay, well, if you don't care about it, why are you still talking about the situation? You said you were done. You told don't call you no more. Why do you even care? What is the point? That was the gist of this. He didn't gain much insight, but it's in there anyway. All right, so for Fatima, shows up at the job site. She's been trying to reach Zach, and he's been avoiding her because, you know, he just had sex with Karen, so things are a little weird. So she brought him $25K. That's the $25K that he's earned from his sweat equity in the rehabilitation real estate program that he's in. So he's excited, like, all this money for me. She's like, yeah, it's yours. You know, so now he's getting a little worried about it being legit, but at this point, you know, there's things that have been earned, so you can confirm, like, yeah, this is a legit program. So let's just go ahead and stick with this thing. So turns out the house they're working on, a developer bought it and bought them out, so, you know, they don't have to work on it no more, but they've earned money for the work that they've done thus far, basically, on the house. And Fatima tells him, you know, you've earned this money, do what you will, but I suggest you reinvest it into the next house to, you know, grow that money exponentially into more money. Like $25,000 is fine, but $100,000 is better. So maybe take enough to sustain yourself and reinvest. So he wants to keep about $5,000 to get him a new place, and she tells him, how about you keep $2,000 to $3,000 and reinvest the rest, and you can stay with me. So she offers him a key to her house, and especially how much she really likes him and likes having him around. And, you know, he's struggling to say something because he don't know at this point, should he say anything about Karen? Should he just be quiet about the situation, or what? So he asked her if she's sure, and she said, you know, let's just see how it goes. In 8 to 10 months, this $25,000 will turn into about $100,000. So, you know, just fill it out in that amount of time. Once you figure that out, then you can go ahead about your business. You ain't got to stay. You know, just stay with me until you figure out how the investment thing's gonna go, how we're gonna go, and then you can go on as you see fit. So yeah. So she at the end of that scene, she wants a kiss, and he can't bring himself to kiss on the lips. He kisses on the forehead because he still has Karen on the breath. So, you know, that wouldn't be sanitary, or right? All right, sure. Gary and Andy are drinking wine, like just real big, chilling on the couch, like they're just a normal couple. And people didn't almost die, and they weren't almost in prison. Like, it was just very The Notebook, when it's definitely menace to society. Like, I don't know why y'all just skipping through the flowers at this point, but we're gonna go with it. All right, so this is still the same day that she got jumped by Jasmine and her friend. Her and Gary are super duper chilling on the couch drinking wine. Okay. All right, so now he want to know, you know, if he's ever broken any promises. And of course, duh, you broke every single promise, so what you talking about? So he makes a new promise, a new declaration to put all that behind them when they get married. And she's worried about his persistent jealousy, which is, you know, been the major problem. But I mean, other than the fact that he's married, but child, people don't give a damn about that. So he's working on it, and he reminds her that she thought it was cute in the beginning. That he was super jealous. And tells her, you know, she needs to get counseling as well, and for them to do it together. Now the mood is kind of shifted, and she wants to know why she needs it also. And he tells her, you know, because she has a need to be perfect, and she thrives on male attention. Like, she's starved for attention from males, so maybe she should figure that out as well while he's figuring out his homicidal jealousy. Yeah. So I guess they both got work to do, which understandable. But Gary, he's still not divorced, so I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know how that works out in the justice system, but sure, whatever. All right, now they go on and on and on about what he said, and she said, and he goes on to tell, like, you do too much for attention, and she tends to flirt and smile too much for his comfortability, and that can make him jealous, and she needs to work on that. So she needs to work on how much she flirts and smiles, because it activates his homicidal jealousy. yeah. Okay. Um, moving right along. And that could cause him to have a reaction because he loves her so much, horribly, terribly, to the point of almost suffocating her to death. Um, and so she was about to say, before I guess she was offended by his statement that she needs counseling as well, is that okay, now they're officially engaged. But she tells him no, 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 no. Since you think I'm so bad, I'm so flirtatious, then no, we ain't engaged. So she agrees to be mindful of her flirting and activating his homicidal jealousy, and reminds him that she doesn't. Just as a gentle reminder, she wanted to remind him that she didn't flirt her way to the top of her career, because he has mentioned that in the past, kind of like she's flirted her way to the top or slept her way to the top. And she reminds him like, okay, I hear what you're saying. I'm going to take it into account, but I just also need you to know that I actually earned my position in my company. I didn't sleep or flirt my way to the top. Just FYI. So now he's pressing her for a date for the wedding. After, they just had a little lightweight argument. Now his next obsession is, his first one was, okay, not taking the ring off. Now I want you to keep the ring on. I need you to wear the ring every day. Now I need a date. Like, just constant pressure in the last 3 or 4 days. Sir, what's the rush? I need you to just slow your roll. But, yeah. So she didn't give him a date, but he's pressing her for one. Alright, so all the girls walk in while Andy is sitting there talking to Gary. And Danny tells him, you can stay, and everybody else wants him out, so ultimately he leaves. Danny notices the ring, and she's like, oh, man, damn, here we go with this shit. Like, I thought we were done with this. Basically, like, all right, y'all, let's talk this shit out. Y'all can be able to change your mind. Let's go. So they're conflicted on if he should stay or leave. Andy's just beaming, all smiles, child, because she engaged now. So nothing can take the air out of her kite. Not at all. So, Danny, Sabrina, Andy, everybody are talking, but it seems like Danny and Andy are making light of it. They're just laughing, and then Sabrina and Karen, they're really not with the shit. Sabrina mostly. Sabrina's like, okay, like, we already know what the dude did in college. Like, we back in this. Like, and Danny's just like, I don't even care no more. Child, whatever anyone to do, I'll support it. I'm Team Andy. I don't give a damn. I'm not here to convince her. Whatever. So Danny, she considers Andy a lost cause. She said we'll be there when she comes back, winning if this fails, but y'all trying to talk her out of the situation? Don't matter. It is for naught. It does not even make a difference at this point. So, child, go Andy and go Gary. Child, make me a flower girl. Whatever. So, yeah, so Danny's looking like, she's looking at Karen like, you ain't got nothing to say? Like, you dragged me and Sabrina here and mom's a word. You don't got nothing to talk about? And so, Karen's just sitting there with her head down. Andy's looking at Karen, kind of sizing up, and realizes, oh, you got Zach on your breath. Like, you was with Zach, huh? And, she admits to seeing him, and that, now that she's back in the sack with Zach, or was for that little moment in time, it's much more difficult for her to judge Andy now, because they're back in situations that they have vowed and promised each other time and time again that they weren't going to be back in. So, yes, I don't even have a space to judge you, sis, because I still ain't took a bath since having relations with Zach in the back room. Okay. Alright, so she realizes that she also, whatever. She also slept with him. Danny asks, was that before or after she found out about the credit card charges not being his? So she done dropped the ball into the court. Like, yeah, why y'all was doing what y'all was doing, was that before or after you found out that the credit card charges weren't actually his? So Danny goes on to show her the video proof that it was a client. And so Danny's just rubbing it in at her point, like, I told you, like, were you 100% sure? Were you positive? Whatever. So she tells him everything that happened at the salon with Aaron and Zach and the whole fiasco, and that's why she has no room to judge anybody at this point, and admits to still loving Zach. She wants to try again, even though she thinks it'll be the same cycle again in a month. What's the point of one try? If you know it's gonna be the same cycle for a month after years of the same thing, I don't get it. Anyway, Andy tells the girls about the counselor, mentioning that Gary was talking about. Sabrina says, what happens? Sabrina asks Andy, what happens if you get abused again? And she claims that he won't get another chance to, blah, blah, blah. Nobody believes any of it at this point. So Sabrina reminds her that, that she doesn't know who the everyday Gary is. Sabrina tells Andy, like, you don't know who Gary is every day. All you know is Gary that would be at your house for a few hours a night, but ultimately he would always go home to his wife. So the day-to-day Gary, you don't know. Legit point, because you can know anybody, you can know somebody in dating, but you don't know somebody until you live with them every single day. So yeah, that's a legit statement that Sabrina put on Andy's mind. But again, Andy don't give a damn about none of that. She got her ring, she got her forever ever after, and y'all can't pop her balloons. She don't care. So yeah, it was a rough summation, but somebody had to say it, right? So Danny is the only one without man troubles at this point. Out of all these seasons, Danny is the only one with some sense about herself in her relationship, which is definitely weird. It's definitely a change in dynamic. So we'll see how that works out amongst the little friend girl group. Alright, so they all headed to the store, and Sabrina wants nothing to do with what she calls the blood diamond, and asks if it used to be Jasmine's. Like, Sabrina's just on all the shade. She don't want nothing to do with it. She ain't happy about the situation or none of it, child. So they had to go to the store just getting snacks and cheese and crackers so they could just finish out their girls' night and call it a day. So they all at the store, and they run into Fatima in the grocery aisle. And Andy's like, oh, I didn't know you shopped here. Like, hey, girl. And then, hey, Karen. Hey, Fatima. All the girls, everybody just exchanging niceties. And so they're talking. As they're talking, Fatima realizes that she heard the name Zach mentioned while the girls were talking in the store. And she asked them, like, what Zach y'all talking about? And we realize that Fatima and Karen are talking about the same Zach. So, not only that, she's in the grocery store, but she's picking up condoms. And she reminds them, like, okay, well, I have a Zach as well. So what's Zach you talking about? Zach comes around the corner, so he's on Fatima's side. So Fatima and Zach are just looking at the group of girls. And everybody's just looking like, awkward. So everybody's just standing there, and Zach disappears for a second, child. He just went and goes. He's like, I can't deal with this shit right now. Gotta go. So he quickly disappears. So he appears back looking dumb. So he walks back down the aisle like, child, I don't have time to deal with this. So Karen and Fatima just looking at each other, and that's the end of the episode. It looks like the forecasting for the next episode, which is the season finale, is Zach. He's coming back from wherever the hell he disappeared to, looking dumb in the face, like he don't know what to do. And Sabrina invites Jacoby in, so alright, they're gonna have sex. Great. And Andy invites Gary to move in with her. Girl, are you dumb? Like, dumb. Is it crack? It's crack your drug of choice. Because what? You invite Gary to live with you. So she just got jumped by his current wife and two of her friends. Anyway, that's going to be next week's episode, the season finale. Yeah, interesting. So I haven't seen anything saying they've been picked up for season 3 yet, but I'm sure they will be picked up. So we'll jump back on that ship when it comes. All right, so that has been it for season 2, episode 21 of Sisters. Like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you feel like doing, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.